Hello everyone, this is Andrew from G&R Imports, and today we're going to show you how to install a 4-inch lift kit for your DA16T Suzuki Japanese mini truck. First, lay out your lift kit parts and secure your DA16T onto a lift. You will want to place a jack stand underneath the axles so it does not drop when you remove the leaf springs in the later steps. Next, you will remove all 4 tires, the plastic panels, and the front mud flaps. Loosen the bolts that secure the leaf springs, then remove the bracket. The bolts can be discarded since new bolts will be provided in your lift kit. Take the bushing off the outside of your leaf spring bolt so the bracket slides out easier. It will take a little patience and finesse to remove the bracket. The bushings can be reused and put back in place when the leaf spring bracket is removed. The next step will be to remove the U-bolts and brackets on both sides. Removing the shock bolts is next. Lower the rear end to assemble new shackles. Install the shackles that are provided in your lift kit and secure them with the new bolts. Notice the curvature of the new brackets and ensure the wider area is on top. The 4.5-inch bolt goes on the top and the 4-inch bolt goes on the bottom. Hand tighten the bolts so the inner bushings are not squeezed too tight. Repeat for the other side. Once tight, you can secure with a wrench, but still be mindful of the bushings. You will want to loosen the rear differential lock cables if applicable on your mini truck so they are not pulled too tight when installing the lift kit. Do not lose the bolts because you will need them again to secure the rear differential lock cables once the lift kit is installed. Next, we will install the wedge blocks. Both wedge blocks have a bolt on the bottom which will securely fit into holes on the axle. Both wedge blocks also have a hole on the top which will match up with the bolt on the leaf spring, allowing the wedge block to hold tight. Next, you will install your new U-bolts. Lock washers go on first, then the bolts. Be sure the U-bolts are inside the U-bolt guides on the axle. You do not need to tighten the bolts all the way until the opposite side is placed and secured. Be sure that one side of the U-bolt is not tighter than the other. Repeat on the other side. Make sure all U-bolts are equally tightened and secured with tools. Slide the rear shock onto the wedge block with provided lock nuts. Now, move your jack stand to the engine crossmember. Start by removing the 4 engine crossmember bolts that hold the crossmember onto the truck frame. You will use these bolts again, so do not lose them. If the bushing in the crossmember slides out, it is best to zip tie them in place until you are ready to reattach the crossmember to the frame. Repeat for the opposite side, then slowly lower your jack stand to bring the crossmember down slightly. Install the 2x2 blocks with the new bolts. You do this twice on each side. Do not tighten the bolts all the way until all 4 are in place. Repeat on the other side. Once your crossmember is tight and secure, move the jack stand under the transmission. Once the jack stand is moved, remove the transmission mounts from the frame. When the 3 bolts are removed, you can slowly lower the jack stand and transmission. Here you will need 3 2-inch transmission spacers, 3 bolts, 3 nuts, and 6 washers. 1 washer on the top and bottom of the bolt and transmission spacer. Once all spacers are in place, tightly secure the transmission back into place. Check out part 2 to see the rest of the lift kit video.